I think it's about time that we sit down and deal with a problem that is all across Vanillaville. Because everywhere that you turn, there are abandoned buildings. They're all commercial buildings, but they are abandoned. And honestly, I'm just a little bit sick of it. I'm tired of it. We need to fix it. It is long overdue, and that is what we're gonna do today. But before we talk about that, you knew that was coming. You knew there was going to be a but. Before we talk about that, I have made a small change to Valley Marsh over here based on your feedback. In fact, I haven't made the change. I made it, and then I didn't save it is what I did. I saw some comments that were talking about the fact that this bus stop is really not going to be all that efficient because it's on the other side of the road and there's nowhere for people to cross the road to get from the national park over to here. So what we're going to do is just move the bus stop down to there. Now, yes, that means that these people are all going to disappear, but what it means is that anyone can get off the bus, walk down the trail, and go into Valley Marsh. Anyone can come out of Valley Marsh, walk down the trail, and go to the bus stop. So that is absolutely correct. There were a couple of people pointed it out in the comments of the last episode, and I appreciate it. I probably wouldn't have caught that. I wouldn't have thought about it myself, but it's fixed. It's working. And honestly, the bus line kind of just flips around because it's a one point to one point. It goes from the station in the middle of town over to here. It just sort of goes the other way now. So the buses will be coming up along the beach here. They'll be coming in and around and generally doing their thing. It's probably going to take them a while to update and do their thing, but that's totally fine. I also think we might have way too many of them. Let's have a little look here. We have 31 vehicles on that line. There's like 3 passengers. I don't think we need 31 vehicles. So I think what we'll do is bring this number down a little bit. We'll go down to like, I don't know, I'll allow 10. We'll have 10 vehicles on that line. And if it gets busy, maybe we'll just change out the buses. I really don't think we need to go for more than 10 buses on that line. And this right here is another thing that I did between episodes, or this is a thing that I did between episodes because I didn't change out the buses. I decided to extend this highway so they can still come off of this. It's obviously the one that goes along the beach. They can still come off into the city here and, you know, do their thing and all of that. And that's cool. That's great. That's what I want them doing. But they can now just go straight to the highway down here. We just have this little slip road that goes on here. They have a dedicated lane for these guys to head into, and it's working kind of fantastically. Traffic in here is still a little busy, but it's not crazy. It's mostly traffic that wants to use this road to get over to the farms, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. If anything, I could probably bring a little ramp off of here, sort of take out these buildings, go underneath the highway, and you know, connect it down here somewhere, but I don't really think that's necessary. The bulk of the traffic is trying to leave the city, and this has given them a way to do that because they can get on the highway here, they take this little ramp here, or this little slip road here, whatever you want to call it, and they just leave. And that's all I need them doing. That's all they've needed to do, so they don't have to go through the city to do that anymore. And so that has massively improved traffic in this space. Now, when it comes to the abandoned buildings all across the city, we have one right here, and it is abandoned because there were no goods to sell. That is a side effect of there not necessarily being enough industry in the city, or potentially it's a side effect of the fact that a lot of the industrial traffic gets held up in traffic. So thing number one that I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to this space by Vanillaville Mining Industry. And we're essentially going to fill this up with some industry, but I'm going to have some fun doing this. I want to go in here and I want to just make sure that this is actually going to be its own district. And the reason I want it to be its own district is because it turns out that there were 3 content creator packs that I didn't have installed, including the Industrial Evolution one, the Brooklyn and Queens one, and there's another one that I didn't have. I can't remember which one it was. But we're going to be using the Industrial Evolution district theme or style or whatever it's called for this industrial space, just because I haven't used it before and I think it's probably going to look kind of cool. So what I also want to do is come in here and just do something that's going to be efficient. I'm not really too concerned with the aesthetics of this space. I'm not really too concerned with it looking super duper cool or anything like that. I just want it to look like it does its job. That's all I really need it to do. So we'll use these dirt roads to plan everything out. I do want it to come around the highway here because I think having some buildings alongside the highway might look pretty good. But what we can also do is come off of about here. And let's see, I think we will go to about there. Can I bring this road straight down? I absolutely can. So we'll have these guys sort of back to back. We'll have this space in here, which is totally fine. I think what we'll also do is just go ahead and let's see, where is my road with a median? It's right back here. I've been playing so much Banished. I'm forgetting where everything is in City Skylines, but it's all right. We're getting there. I think what we'll also do is I might do this. We are going to have a little gap in there, but I think we'll do this so we can get some buildings in that space next to the kiln plant right there. And what we can do potentially is, oh, we can't push it straight through. These guys aren't going to line up all that nicely, which is a bit of a shame actually, but I think that's just going to have to be the way of it. Yeah, this guy's not going to line up all too well either. So the zoning at that corner kind of sucks, but it's good down here. So I'm willing to have it be good down here. And I think what we'll do is maybe come in here with a little something. Let's try just having some zoning going around the sand storage right there. And maybe we try to keep everything relatively separate. So this is kind of its own little space. Maybe this road over here just has a bunch of little roads coming off of it like this. And that'll give us a good amount of industrial zoning. We can do the same over here. And we could do the same in here. I don't think I will. I think what we'll do is just extend you up to there. That'll give us a bit of a weird triangle to play with. We have a weird triangle down here to play with as well. In fact, if I wanted to, we can do that just to fill in more of that space. We can do the same thing here to fill in some more of this space as well. And I think what that means is we can take that guy out. So we have all this space to play with. This could connect over. I'm honestly not going to do that. I just need some space for some industrial zoning. So we'll bring a road down here as well. And a lot of these guys, I think what we'll do is swap them out to be the roads with the larger sidewalks. Same with this guy. I think honestly, most of them can probably just have the large sidewalks, to be completely honest. I don't think all that many of them really need to have the median. Maybe this one does. I think this one for sure, since we don't want trucks sort of, you know, intersecting each other here. But I think the rest of this is fine. It is going to need an old town policy. It is going to have that new style. But I think first, oh, I forgot about this road down here as well. I think the first thing we need to do is get some pipes in here so they're not going to be complaining about that. And then we kind of just need to sit back and watch what happens, because I have a theory about what's going to happen here. I'm pretty sure it's just going to push a bunch of traffic this way, which means we're just going to have traffic problems over by the oil industry and the forestry again, which, I mean, we're no stranger to that at this point, but it would be nice to not have to worry about it. Admittedly, I'm the only one that can fix that. I can sit here and complain about it all I want. You know, it's me that caused those problems. So hopefully I can do a little something about that at some point in the near future. But I think that's probably fine. Let's just go ahead and let's just get some industry in here. Let's just see what we can do. So I think first things first, I'm going to do a bunch of it along the highway, and I'm not going to necessarily, you know what? I am going to fill all of this up. I think every bit of this, we're just going to fill it up. We'll take out the parts that we don't want, and we'll just see how it goes, because we do need it. We need a lot of industry to deal with all of the, well, the lack of goods everywhere. Now, I realize that as a lot of these guys start to build, they are probably going to start complaining about there not being enough workers. And there's probably going to be two reasons for that. Reason number one will be public transport. We're going to want to bring people out here. And so what I think I might do is get rid of that bus stop right there and just sort of bring it down this way. So we'll have one here. We can sort of bring one down this way as well. So bring it down that road, sort of just through this space so that people can kind of, you know, get to work into that space. But what's also going to be happening is that we probably have a lot of people that are educated. If we have a bit of a look overall, there's a lot of light blue. There's a whole lot of light blue. There's 49% of the population highly educated, 19% well-educated, 16% educated, and 16% are uneducated. So hopefully we can tap into the uneducated and the educated. We don't, well, even just the uneducated. As these things level up, we will need them to have a bit of an education, but I'm hoping we can just do something to get them out here and to make sure that this all works. Really, that's kind of the goal. And obviously the goal for this as well is going to be to send out more goods to the city. And we can actually do something about that. We can go in here, we can go to city planning, and we can enable industrial space planning. This is a policy that I think I use all the time when I first started playing City Skylines. And what it does is it will double the amount of goods produced by zoned industry buildings, and it does increase the upkeep of the buildings as well, which I'm totally fine with. What we're also going to do is an old town policy so that no vehicles are going through this space. And so in doing that, we should have a really good output of goods for the city. And arguably, we could do the same thing with Chestnut Heights, and I don't really see a reason not to do it. I mean, yes, we're losing money, which, I mean, I was kind of asking for that for quite a while, so we'll see how that goes. We just had a plus $46,000 there, so we might not be losing that much. But the plan, my hope and my plan is that with that policy and with this new district, we're hopefully going to see less complaints about not enough goods to sell. We are going to have these abandoned buildings for a while, but I'm hoping that we get rid of the need or the complaint about there not being enough goods, because we are making more of them across the 2 industrial districts now. So while we're waiting on all of this building, I want to come over to this space and I want to start building something in here. I would like to get another residential space, basically. And I realize that's going to be kind of tricky because we do have some industry right next to it. It's not even industry, it's recycling centers. And that's going to be a bit of a miserable space for people. But what I'm thinking I can maybe do is leave a bit of a gap and maybe use some strategically placed office buildings to sort of be a bit more of a buffer. But we can leave a gap of about 10 units. We can go ahead and just turn angle snapping back on as well. So we'll also turn road lengths back on as well. We need kind of everything enabled there. So we'll do something like this. We'll go to this side, we'll go to 10 units, and we'll do something similar. And these guys are going to be connecting together at a bit of a right angles there. And then my thinking is this road could go here and it can go here. And obviously this will eventually need some kind of old town policy, but I want to make this as much of a grid as I possibly can because I want to use that Brooklyn and Queens content creator pack to just make this space look kind of cool. So that's going to be my goal with this is just going to be another relatively straightforward grid, but because we're going to be using that pack, I think it's going to look pretty good. So we'll bring an avenue up to about there and we'll just bring some roads sort of off of there. We can go ahead and kind of fill this space in as well. What we can also do is leave some gaps so that there's a bit of variation. And honestly, looking at this hill, oh, I don't know about that. We might want to smooth this out a little bit. Let's have a look at our lines. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. So let's swap it out for something that's kind of going to slope from up here down to the highway. And we'll go for a bit of a larger brush as well. And we'll just see how this works. So that's instantly worse, which is what I sort of expected. We'll slope here as well. We can sort of slope from here to there. And then if I just hit this with a smoothing brush, I think that's going to be better, to be honest. It might not look better, and there's still some weirdness going on here, but I'm pretty sure that that is going to be better. We're not going to have the roads quite as bumpy as they were. So we'll just finish smoothing this right about there, and I think that's going to be good enough. So let's go ahead and put the avenue back in here. We'll go up to about that spot. That does look better. It still has a slope to it, but it's going to because there is a slope there. We can do this. We can do, I'll tell you what, we'll do this and we'll do this one. And is that actually space? That is, you know what? We will do another one. We'll absolutely do another one. And then what I'll do is just bring these guys sort of straight down until they get about as close to the highway as we can go. And I am going to change up that one road right there because I have an idea for how we can do that in a way that's going to be a little bit better than what I've done there. But bring this guy right up to there, bring this guy right up to there. This one though, what I want to do with it is I want my road guidelines and I want to do, let's see, this right here is what I want to do. because that's going to give us some zoning right up against that highway. That is going to look so much better. And arguably, if I wanted to, I could continue that road straight through there and we could have zoning right up against that highway. That is something we could do, but it's going to give me some weird corners for all of this. So I don't know. I don't know that I want to do that. I might do this though, because that is going to give me zoning up against the highway. It's maybe a little bit different to what I'd planned on doing, but I'm kind of willing to give that a shot. I'm kind of willing to see, you know, how that plays out, how that works and what it does for us. So let's just turn off zoning on this road. I know it doesn't matter because it's a dirt road and we're going to be replacing it anyway. But I think up this way, sort of a similar story. We can go ahead and bring this guy right up to the highway. There's not going to be zoning back here. I think that's probably going to be a green space. But in here, we can absolutely have zoning. In fact, we could do this as well. And honestly, I think that's a pretty good use of space. I think that's got about as much zoning as I could possibly get. Still giving us a little bit of green space. It gives us this thing down here, which again, this is going to be our buffer. It gives us this right here. I think that's pretty solid. So let's do a pass and let's start swapping out some of the roads. And I think what I'm going to do, part of me wants to make this a pedestrian zone, but I don't know. Should it be a pedestrian zone? I mean, it could be. It absolutely could be. It might look interesting having this avenue going up here and then just pedestrian roads. But what I was thinking was I was just going to use the regular 2-lane roads and we'll just let people drive around here. We'll let people park in the streets. We'll just kind of lean into the, you know, the super urban vibe that we're kind of going for. So I think that's what we'll do for now. If I look at this in a little bit and I decide that I want to swap it out, we absolutely can. But for now, we'll just do this sort of thing. I think this road, at the very least, I'm going to put a median with some trees on it because that is going to be the road that acts as a buffer as well. And I think that's about as good as it's going to be. So let's put some pipes underneath the roads and then let's get some buildings in here. So we've got Sterling Square. It needed to be a district as well. We have Brooklyn and Queens already selected. And what I'm going to do is actually say that we're going to have high-tech housing. I don't think that policy changes buildings. I think it just increases land value ever so slightly. And that is going to be important given that we're near a highway and we're near some industry. I'm also going to encourage biking just because I can. We're not necessarily going to have any cycle paths in here, but we'll encourage it anyway. There's probably other stuff we could do as well if we really wanted to, but I think for now that's fine. We will do an old town policy just because I think that's going to be important. And we do have the district cleared off of everything that will be affected by that. Now I have extended it a little bit further here because like I said, we're probably going to put some stuff in here to act as a buffer. So not everything in here is going to be the Brooklyn and Queens style buildings, but that's honestly okay. In fact, before we even build anything, let's just go ahead and say that we're going to have commercial wall to wall and we're going to have the office wall to wall buildings as well. Because what that'll do, ooh, do we have some weird zoning down here? We absolutely, how did this happen? Oh, that's annoying. That's actually really annoying. How did that happen? How have we got zoning that doesn't work here? Oh man, it also doesn't line up. Oh no. Oh, how have I done this? Oh no. Is that fixable? No, it's weird again, isn't it? Yeah, it's off a little bit. Oh God. Okay. Well, actually, you know what? That is totally fixable. What we can do is just say that there's only zoning on this side of the, ooh, that's not right. I need it to be on, the other side of the road. So I need it to be there. We'll do the same. Nope. That's also not what we're looking for. We want it to be on this side and the same down here. So there's only zoning on this side of this road. The rest of this will be on these roads, which is totally fine. And that should be, oh no, it's weird here as well. Oh God, how have I done this? How has this happened? Oh no. Okay, well, I think we can, is it weird on that right side? No, so that side's fine. It's just this bit that's weird. Okay, well, if I do that, does that fix anything? No, because I think I had zoning enabled for everything, didn't I? What about changing out to this guy? That, oh, they also don't line, oh man. How have I done this? Oh no. I don't like this. I mean, that'll be fine, but I don't I don't love it. Is the rest of this okay? Oh no. Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. All right. We can do some kind of park down here. I guess what we'll do is, let's see. Let me go into the pedestrian areas, or rather, let me go into pedestrian area plazas, and I'll get myself a small food truck plaza for right there. And I'm going to get myself a small ice cream stand plaza for right there. And that'll be the entrance to the district, and that'll look lovely. So now that that's done, I want to get my buffer buildings in here, and the buffer buildings are going to be these office buildings that go around like so. We're also going to do them down here. In fact, we are not going to do them right there. What we will do is a set of office buildings right about here, leading up that way. And I'm debating whether or not to do them in here as well. I don't necessarily think we need them. I really don't, because we do have some offices across the street, but yeah, you know what? I don't think we need them. I just don't think we need them. So let's just fill up this space with a whole bunch of residential zoning, since that's kind of what the space is supposed to be. So all of that's going to be residential. I'm thinking this space back here is also going to be residential. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap here, just so I can play around with some paths, and I think that'll be pretty cool. I might do the same here as well, just a little small building. In fact, we'll extend it up to there. That should be totally fine. And then this space, honestly, I think, let's see if I can get away with something like this. Let's see if it's actually going to let me have these slightly smaller buildings. I don't really know what the limitations are of this content creator pack. I don't know what size the buildings are. I don't know what they look like. I have no idea. So this is, it's an experiment is what it's going to be. We'll also come across here with some buildings just like that. And we already have them popping up. And honestly, they already look pretty good. I like these a lot. I think this district's going to look really cool, especially once we get some detailing in here, especially once we get some trees, once we get some paths. Once we get some good stuff going on, I think it's going to look fantastic. Now, in other news, I was correct. We are having some issues with there not being enough workers for this new industrial space. But the good news is that because we've just built that new residential space over here in Sterling Square, we are going to have new people moving in. We are going to have people that aren't educated. And we are going to have people that by all means could commute over to that new industrial space. Now, in saying that, we need to figure out how they're going to do that, because at the moment, the metro doesn't actually come down to any of this. And honestly, that should probably be fixed. That should probably be expanded just a little bit. So do I want to expand this line? I don't think I do. I really don't think I do. Could I expand any of these lines down here? I could expand this one. This would be a weird line to expand down that way, but we absolutely could do it. And it's about the only line that isn't currently, you know, capped off somewhere. So that would be an option. Maybe bring this line sort of down into the industrial space, up through Hillside Park, Sterling Square, and then bring it in here to sort of loop around. I don't know if we necessarily need to do that. That might be a little bit much, especially with this this cliff here. Let's just bring this one down. So let's have a little bit of a look at the metro and let's see what we can do. So I want it to come over and I would like it to be sort of down here somewhere. Now that slope's apparently too steep. That slope isn't though. So let's do a metro station. I want to say right about there is a good spot for it. So a metro station right there. This can come over and turn down. We can do a metro station pretty much directly across from it. Like these are super close together, but if you think about it, to actually walk over there, you would have to go all the way down over this bridge and in over that way, or drive down there, or just get on a train and it's, you know, 30 seconds, which is maybe silly, but I'm kind of willing to give that a shot. I'm willing to see how that plays out. Now what I'm also going to do is I think bring a train kind of into this corner. Again, those are really close together, but it means I can come over into Hillside Park really nicely and we can have, you know, a metro that sort of comes down this way. We can have one here, which I'm sort of okay with as well. So I am skipping this space. I don't love that I'm skipping this space, but I think that's kind of just what we're going to do. I could go there and I could bring it up into that space if I wanted to. I don't necessarily think I want to, but it would definitely be an option, especially if I was to put it like here. We could sort of go up a little bit and then down and through. But I think what we'll do is I think I'm just going to put it somewhere down here. I think right about there or a little bit further down is sort of what I'm thinking. Maybe just there. We'll just go for that corner. And so that'll give us a decent enough connection for the metro. So let's get ourselves some tracks. I'm probably overthinking it a little bit. So let's just be as straightforward with this as we possibly can. So this comes out to here. This guy can sort of come down like so. These guys are just going to connect straight together, which is going to be like that. These guys are going to have a relatively sharp bend at this corner, but I'm honestly not too concerned about that because I can't really see it. And then this one is just going to be a little sort of S bend that goes like this and goes like that. And that should be totally fine. So all I need to do is grab this stop right here and move it all the way down to here. And then we just add some trains kind of everywhere in between. So we'll get 2 stops at every station. We'll get the same thing just up here as well. And then we need to add 2 to the station that we just moved the stop from. And so everybody there should still be able to use the metro. They might change platform, which it looks like they're doing. Over here, we should see people wanting to hop in the metro. We should see the same thing in here. We should see it in here. And this one I'm expecting to be kind of busy as well because the nearest metro station was this one over by, well, the whatever this building's called, the Majesty. So that should be pretty good. I like to think that that's going to make people happy. I hope it makes them happy, and I hope they use it. Because, I mean, the buses are up to 5,000 people per week. The metro's still sitting at 2,000. We can do better than that. You know, I realize I've got traffic lights the entire way along here, and I just don't think we need them. We'll swap all of these out for some stop signs the way we usually do, and we'll do the same up here as well. We'll have stop signs going onto the avenue. Down here can probably be a similar story. And we even have stop signs going onto this pretty busy road. So hopefully that's going to work out. Hopefully it's not going to be too bad for traffic. And honestly, I love how this looks. I really do. I don't really mind this buffer. I mean, yes, those are very distinctly different looking buildings. Oh, Valley Marsh is level 2. We got the viewing decks. Okay. We're going to have to remember those because I did mention that I wanted to use those for something pretty cool. But before we do that, I want to put some fences around more of this space. So let me go and grab, where is it? It's going to be the ore industry fence. And I want to go and turn off my angle snapping, my road lengths, my grids, my guidelines. Absolutely everything needs to be turned off. And we're going to try and get this to be as close to the road and as close to the buildings as we can possibly get it. So I think about there should be good. We'll bring this over kind of nicely into this corner. I think right about there should be good. That didn't mess with any of the zoning. We can do the same thing here, going to about there. And then I might want angle snapping for this, but I'm going to try and freeform it just a little bit. I want to bring it around the metro station. So let's say that's enough. And let's say that that's going to be enough right there as well. And that's absolutely what I'm looking for. I just wanted to surround that a little bit. I know I don't need to do it, and I don't really have anything to fill that space with, but I just think it looks better. I think it's good to have that fence. It just nicely divides things the way I'd kind of want it to be. I am admittedly slightly tempted to put some paths that go between some of this space because we could have people walking back and forth. That would definitely be an option. But I think before I do that, I want to do a little bit of landscaping in here, just to make this look better. It's a good looking space. I mean, the buildings look phenomenal. I absolutely love these assets. I think they look so good, but let's be honest, they're all very similar, which is admittedly, that's the point. I just think breaking it up with a few of my generic pine trees I think that's the way to go. Not even just the pine trees. I think we can go in here with some oak trees as well, but I do think we should try and at least partially line the highway with some pine trees. So that's what I'm going to try and do here is get some of my pine trees and just try and line things up as best I can and just see what it looks like. It might look like the buildings are kind of punching through the tree line that goes along the highway, and that might look kind of cool. It might not. It might look terrible, but I think it might look cool. And there we go. Just a little bit of landscaping, nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy, just some trees, some generic pines, because of course, and a little something something to line the highway down here as well. Now you might notice that there's a gap in the fence that is sort of intentional and sort of not. Basically, the roads are too close together. I can't actually continue the fence there, so I just managed to get a tree into that spot, and that's about as good as it's going to be. But here's the thing. We've also managed to deal with just about all of the complaints for there not being enough workers. Admittedly, okay, this one guy, this one place was like, hey, we don't have enough workers. But that's not the only thing we've managed to get rid of. There's also no abandoned buildings, and from what I can see, no one's complaining about there not being enough goods. So between this new district and the high-tech, what's the policy called again? It's the industrial space planning, and this space right in here, we've managed to help the city. We've managed to fix things, and we have demand for just about everything. So everything is nicely leveled out, and we've even managed to build right up against the highway again. So here's one of my, oh my God, hold on a minute. Hold on. We have you, what are you complaining about? What is this? Not enough educated workers? I don't care. It's not a goods problem. It's not my problem right now. That's totally fine. Here's one of my favorite views in the city, by the way. This view right here. I love this. And actually, this is the first time I'm looking at it with these buildings on the left. That looks pretty cool. I actually like the way they're at an angle like that. That's actually kind of neat. But I love this view. I absolutely do, because the highway is just flanked by buildings. And the further down here you go, the bigger the buildings get, the more modern they sort of get. You know, you get into the city center. Admittedly, it gets a bit weird because we've built nothing in this space yet, but I love that view. It really is one of my favorites. It looks so good. Oh, now this is concerning. We're actually starting to run out of oil underneath a lot of these guys. So this is where we're going to have to start importing those resources if we want to keep this all going. So that's, I don't know how to feel about that. I know we had a conversation a while ago about whether or not we were going to turn on unlimited ore and oil. I'm guessing I've got it switched off. I don't know if I remember. Did we turn it on? I actually don't know. I think I mentioned that I was going to try importing stuff, and if it didn't work out, we would switch it on, but I don't know. I might have accidentally, if it was on, I've accidentally turned it off, and I've now decided that we're going to try and import stuff, I guess. That might be tricky. That might not go so well, but we'll figure it out. Oh, okay. Wasn't expecting this. We've got the Metropolitan Air. I forgot that was a thing. Airport and helicopter stop hub. You can see how what words got combined there. With integrated metro station allows people to conveniently switch between air transportation methods for quick access to and from the city. Interesting. Cargo airport hub, a large airport specialized. Oh yeah, I know about that one. Wait, isn't the cargo airport hub different to the airport area one? Because we have a cargo airport terminal, right? That's like its own thing. Yeah, cargo airport terminal is right there. So does that mean the cargo airport? Oh, I mean, that would be, I think this has a train connection, which is why it's called a hub. We already have a cargo airport, right? Yeah. I wonder if I'd just be better doing this, like trying to find a way to fit this in here. I don't think I could. I think we do need to at some point figure out how we're getting a cargo terminal in here. And honestly, it might just involve bulldozing half of this and moving it to this side of the road. But oh my God, the helicopters. I've just noticed how many helicopters are here. And I've just remembered that I was planning on moving the helicopter stop down this way. I might still do that. I mean, we have time, right? We have the time. Let's very quickly do that, because these helicopters are getting out of hand. So what we'll do, oh man, what we'll do is we'll get some angle snapping going. We'll go 10 units that way. I'm going to turn zoning off on these, actually turn zoning on for these roads. And why do I want to do this? I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's just going to be two helicopter stops sort of facing each other. Or we could put them on the same side of the road if we wanted to, but oh, wait a minute. This is going to take away from the space for a cargo airport, though. And it also makes it less, maybe we just add another helicopter stop here. Maybe that's what we do. Just add another one. I think that is kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to do. I don't know if I can with the cable cars though. What about over there? Can I get one in that space? Do we have zoning in that road? We don't. What if I enable zoning there? And what if I go to, is this a helicopter stop? It is. We could do this. We absolutely could do this. Do I want to do this though is the question. I kind of do. I could put it back. Ooh, now hold on a second. I could put it back there. That is going to take away from that hotel. No, I think it's going to go here. I think we're going to put it in line with the hotel. And then I can sort of landscape around it a little bit. Admittedly, we're at the edge of the map. We're building about as close to it as we possibly can. But I think that's what we're going to do. And so now I just need to move one of the helicopter lines to the other stop. So I don't know which one we're grabbing. We're grabbing the rad one, apparently. I can't find a path right now, which is fair enough. So let's just connect these guys together. So something like this, so they can sort of go around. In fact, it might even be better to just have like a cut here so the helicopters can go straight over. That might be the way to do this. So bring that straight up there, bring that straight over there. So they go across the farms. It's maybe a bit weird that they're going to have this like really sharp turn. So let's just do something like this. So they kind of like sweep down and around. We can have them do this as well. So they can come through there. It is a bit weird. It's definitely a bit of a weird setup that we have going on here, but that'll be fine. Let's just go ahead and move the red one down to there. So they now come in that way. They go out the other way. The blue ones are going to continue to use this stop, which is totally fine. And I suspect oh my God, that's so much traffic. I suspect most people will still use the blue one because the red one's a little bit out of the way. But I'm at least curious to see how things go. And I'm also realizing that, oh no, they are looping around. Okay, this might actually work. Let's very quickly landscape around this because it does look a little bit silly. What did I do on the other one? I did bushes that go the entire way around. I did some pine trees that go the entire way around. So I'll tell you what, let's have bushes that go around the roundabout, or, ooh, well, maybe pine trees that go around the roundabout, and maybe some bushes that go up towards the airport. I don't know. Let's figure it out. We're going to be using these guys. We're going to have to use a lot of them to kind of nicely mask the concrete there, but I don't mind. It's fine. It'll look the part, and it's hopefully going to be a nice solution to a lot of the problems that we're having with the helicopters. And there we go. We have this thing landscaped just a little bit. We have some bushes that come around the corner going towards the airport. We have a decent number of people using this thing as well. So I think this is a success. I think this is good. I think it was necessary. And hopefully we're not going to see a crazy number of helicopters hovering over the airport anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are still some that are doing that, but there's definitely less, and that's kind of what I was going for. We do also have, like I said, a good number of people wanting to use the red line there. There are still ridiculous numbers wanting to use the blue helicopters, but overall, the main thing I wanted rid of was just the stupid number of helicopters everywhere, so I think we've done good, and I might even go so far as to get rid of this little connection here and force the red helicopters back out this way. So that way they aren't going to be hovering around waiting for the blue helicopters to leave. They might still hover over here, but for the most part, they can kind of just go out the way they got in here. So that will, again, hopefully speed things up a little bit. What are you doing? Why are they, oh, they're waiting around to get, oh, that's not good. I mean, we have the fire trucks here already, but that's not good. I would imagine there's probably a lot of people just went for a red helicopter. That's that's fair enough. I think a lot of the traffic probably turned around as well. Yeah. Yeah, suddenly there's a lot of traffic going this way when they don't usually go that way. So they can figure that out. That's a them problem. That's an issue, not an issue me. Anyway, now that we've managed to solve the issues with there not being enough goods to sell, I think we can go ahead and leave it there for today. I know they might look a little bit weird next to everything else that I've built out here, but I absolutely adore these red brick industrial buildings. I think they look fantastic. Industrial Evolution is an amazing content creator pack. And the Brooklyn and Queens pack is amazing as well. These things have been out for a while. I just had them uninstalled for some reason, so now they are installed. They look, I love them so much. I really, really do. And of course, across the city as a whole, we no longer have any abandoned buildings. So I would say that the job I set out to do today is done. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.